It's Thursday, and y'all know what that means. Ellis Johnson is here on the True North Network to bring you your Thursday night preview. That's right, we got a burner one this week. We have the Tennessee Titans traveling to Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers. Two teams off of two fresh wins, only two very different wins. One of the most boring wins I've ever seen against the Broncos for the Titans, and one of the most exciting games of the season when the Packers took down the Cowboys last week. Now that game was definitely a statement through and through. So, how are they going to rebound? Well, let's find out. First off, let's talk about the injuries. Injuries here, Romeo Doubs, we already know he's out. He's out for this game. He's going to be out for another few weeks. Opening the door for Christian Watson, Allen Lazard, Sammy Watkins, you name it. We'll get into that in a bit. That's about it. On the defensive side, the Titans have Jeffrey Simmons being questionable. If he plays, that's a big help. If not, hey, Packers should roll anyways. So let's get right into the fantasy breakdown of this. First and foremost, Derrick Henry. Now, Derrick Henry's a monster. We always joke that he evolves when the cold comes. But unlike Pokemon, that's actually true. Derrick Henry is awesome, and his running style's just like his season. He gains steam, and when he gets going, he's hard to be stopped. He's currently leading the league in rushing attempts, second in rushing touchdowns, and second in rushing yards at the position. That's pretty amazing. That's the kind of usage you only dream of. And the Packers this year, they're averaging 140 rushing yards against each game. Derrick Henry should get that on his own. And if that's the average, he's going to surpass that. And if he's going to surpass that, it means he's probably going to get a couple touchdowns. Now, on top of that, the Packers are quite good against the pass, which I'll get into later. But basically, spoiler alert, Tennessee's going to be running the ball a lot. Must start 100% this week. He's a top 3 option for me in any format. Next up, we have Christian Watson. Let's ride. I'm calling for Christian Watson. Now, that was a breakout game, and I think he's going to keep it going. He's 6'4", 210, very fast, and hopefully if his hands make it, he's going to break a big play. This Tennessee secondary, we're going to talk about a lot in this video, but the basics are they're not good. They're averaging 200 receiving yards to the receiver position each game and over touchdowns to the receiver position each game. That's wild. Christian Watson has the upside to be a top 10, 12 play this week, and he's only probably going to slide in as your WR3, but that is the risk baked in. I'm trying to give you the confidence to play him and chase those fantasy points, baby. Next up on the back of that, we've got Aaron Rodgers. Now, if you're not going to start Aaron Rodgers this week, you're never going to start him, so why not move him before the trade deadline? Aaron Rodgers is a great play this week. I have him as a top 6 option, and it's because this Tennessee's defense is bad, but they're great against the run. The Packers won last week by running the ball a lot and being very efficient in the passing game. This will not work against the Titans. The Titans have been shut down against running backs. I'm talking they are averaging 51.4 rushing yards to the running back position since week 2. That is wild. Want to know another stat though? Get ready. Buckle those seatbelts because the Titans haven't allowed a rushing touchdown to the running back since week 2. Ridiculous. So, Aaron Rodgers will be forced to throw. Christian Watson's the deep threat. Fire him up 100% and fire up Aaron Rodgers because that's what's going to happen. Now, next up, we have our solid starts. Now, in our solid starts here, we have Aaron Jones. I know, I love Aaron Jones. He's been electric. He's been great for fantasy. He's been getting great usage. But the thing is like I said, this Titans defense is very, very good. So, I don't expect a monster week, but he's going to get some dump offs. I expect a bigger week in the receiving game for him. And he's always a threat to find the end zone. I'm saying he's a solid start. He's going to lock in as an RB1 for you. But I just want to give you a little bit of warning in case he doesn't put off the monster performance that we're hoping for. Next up, we have Allen Lazard. Just off the backs of what I said about Christian Watson, Allen Lazard's primed for a big week. Before last week, he had 6 straight weeks of 6 or more targets a game. That's a ridiculous volume, especially with a guy like Aaron Rodgers. He's also a huge touchdown threat. That's right, I'm calling for Allen Lazard touchdown. Pie shop, baby, is open. He's cashing a touchdown for sure this week. So start Allen Lazard where you can. I think he's a rock solid WR2 with that volume and the upside in case this game gets out of hands and Rodgers is going to need to throw. Next up, we got our flex considerations. I know, we're flying through this. But I only got one flex consideration, and in fact, you're never going to flex him because he's not good enough to do it, but I needed someone to be here, and I think the only option here is Robert Tonyan. Tonyan, you're not flexing because he's a tight end, but I think he's in play this week. It's not because of him. It has nothing to do with him. He had a monster game last week. 1 target, 1 catch, 8 yards. Boom. Nice and simple, brutal. Come on now. But the thing is like I said, they're going to need to be passing. And Tennessee hasn't been great against tight ends. So if you just lost to Dallas Goedert, or you're tired of living in tight end purgatory, I think Tonyan's in play, and I think Tonyan might. I'm not calling pie shop, but he has a good option as anyone else to find the end zone this week. So he's a flex consideration, but really I'm saying he's a streaming tight end, and I think he could crack the top 12. He's as good as anyone else. And just like that, we're already into our sits. That's right. It's a lot shorter when you only talk about one team. Well, here's the second team. Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill's a sit for me this week. He finally bringing some consistency to this Titans passing attack, which really needed it after Malik Willis basically needed one first down to get into field goal range for the Titans to beat Kansas, and he couldn't even do that. Tannehill last week made Nick Westbrook-Ikhine actually have a really nice week. He also had a couple of really clutch plays, and I do think he's a functional quarterback. But the thing is this Packers team is the exact opposite of the Titans team. And by that, I mean this Packers are not good at the run, but great at the pass. They're allowing the third fewest passing yards per game and allowing the fourth fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks this season. You can't start Tannehill. He doesn't have the upside, and I'm predicting him to struggle this week. The other sit option, this one hurts me. A.J. Dillon. Now, if I told you A.J. Dillon had the 22nd most rushing attempts in the league, I'd be pretty thrilled. And the fact is that's true. But he also has less fantasy points than like Kenyon Drake, for example. He's having a brutal season, and he's not showing his pass-catching prowess, which we're hoping to see. So, against the Titans defense, like I said, only averaging 50 rushing yards to the running backs, Aaron Jones is going to get most of that. You can't play A.J. Dillon. There's no upside here, and he hasn't scored since week 1. Stay away as far as you can. As for the rest of the Titans, Robert Woods, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, Treylon Burks, if he does come back, the thing is these guys aren't reliable. For much of the same reasons I just talked about Ryan Tannehill, I don't think you can start any of these guys. Now, my honorable mentions here for sitting is Sammy Watkins. Sure, if you want to go that deep, but the thing is I already listed enough Packers pass catchers that I don't want to go deep enough for Watkins. He has not been good. And Dontrell Hilliard. You might recall him actually being a bit more involved earlier this season, but lately he has not done anything, so just ride with Henry, and I don't think any other Titans are in play this week. And just like that, we're into Ellis's picks. Now, Ellis's picks, here we are. We've been cold. And that's why gambling is bad, kids. Well, that's how I'd tell this to my grandchildren when I look back on the season, because it's been a brutal season for me. But here we are, we're trying to step it up again. If you want to fade me, absolutely go for it. I have no disrespect at all. I trust you, but the thing is that I'm going to keep trying to get it right, and I like this week a lot. I know I've said that before, but here we go. Packers -3. Love it. I think the Packers have a better balanced attack. Even if Titans can stop the run, I think the Packers will be able to force the passes, which means they'll open up the run. I think that's a nice balance, as you hear what I'm saying. Tennessee, on the other hand, doesn't have a passing attack that I think can compete with this Packers defense. So the Packers try to stop Henry. I know easier said than done. I think the Packers are going to run away with this. However, like I said, Henry's hard to stop. So I see Tennessee putting up some points here, which means give me the over, which is currently set at a modest 40.5. Give me the over for sure. Packers -3, 40.5. Alan Lazard Pie Shop is open, baby. And just like that, Ellis's Thursday Night Preview's done so. Have a great day, and hey, enjoy your football.
My pretty baby kissed another. Stop my dad up on my feet.